Hey, what's going on, everyone? Chimba Bike here, and like last time, we are in Mexico City. This is actually Mexico's university. As you guys can see right there, there's a stadium. That's one of Mexico City's team. But anyway, we're going to be learning how to ride a motorcycle today, and it's actually very simple. It's very intuitive, and basically what you want to do is you just want to get to know the bike a little bit. So let's start off with the names. Basically, this is your rear wheel and your front wheel. Unlike a car, you operate your braking system separately. I think there's a couple of Hondas that have a CBS combined braking system, which means that I guess, when you squeeze your front brake, it also activates your rear brake, but that's not the case in most bikes. You actually operate them separately. This right here is your front brake lever, and it controls your front brake. And this right here is your rear brake pedal or peg, and it controls your rear brake. In this case, we don't have a rear disc. That's not to worry. This is a very light bike, so we don't actually need one, although I would prefer if it did have one, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today. This is your exhaust. As you guys can see, it's a little bit scratched up because I dropped the bike, unfortunately. And on the left side, actually, we have what I like to think of, the engine part of the bike. Basically, this is your clutch lever, and this is the peg, or I guess the lever that you use to control the gears on your bike. So left side controls the engine, and the right side controls the speed. What I mean by the speed, you use the braking system on your right side, and you also have the gas here on the right handlebar. If you hold it in like that, it puts a little bit more gas to the combustion chamber, and it goes faster. And if you let go, well, it stops doing so. So let's take a look at the controls on the dashboard and everything else. Basically, you have your high beams, your low beams, you have your indicators or turning signals, and you have your horn right there, you have your passing light right here, and basically this just momentarily engages, or I suppose it kind of turns on your high beam. So if you're letting someone pass or something, you can just do that, and they're going to see your high beams engage momentarily. This is your dashboard. All dashboards are kind of different, so I don't want to get into it. And you put your keys in here. This is your kill switch, and actually a lot of bikes don't actually have kill switches, which kind of surprises me, especially on scooters. But basically what this does is it kills power that's going to the engine. So you ever drop your bike and it lands on the gas and it starts revving up, that can damage your engine. So all you need to do is you need to walk up to the bike, and it's going to be like that to be on. You just need to switch it off to the off position, and you can prevent a lot of engine damage if you drop your bike. Also, this is your electric start, which a lot of bikes don't have. A lot of bikes rely on a kickstand, which basically what you do is you put this thing down like this, you just kick it, and that starts up the bike without having to rely on a battery. So if your battery ever dies on you, well, you can always use that. But yeah, pretty basic. One thing to know, you always get on your bike, if you have a hobo right there, I think, it's not, mind him, you get on the bike on the left side, surprisingly. A lot of people do it on the right, but the thing is, if you try to get onto a bike on the right side, you can actually burn your leg right there as you're trying to put your left leg over the bike to get on it. Okay, so you get on the left side, and now that you're sitting comfortably, you're getting nose in here, you're gassing right here, and you have all your controls here forward. So all you really need to do is put the key right here. As you guys can tell, I don't know if you can read it or not, but it says lock, so you need to push down on it and put it in like that. Now that you turn the key, you can actually start the bike. So if you turn it once more, your dashboard, or I guess the electric power, is switched on. Now your electronics are on. You want to make sure this green light pops up. This is a neutral light, and it tells you that the bike is neutral. Now, if it's not a neutral, it's nothing to worry about. All you need to do is hold in your clutch and kick the, I guess, gear lever downwards or upwards until you find the neutral position. More about that later, but You know, right now, you don't really need to worry about is just make sure it's in neutral. Because if you don't, and you forget to squeeze in the clutch, the bike's just going to bump on you and it's going to choke. So you don't want to do that. Anyway, engage your kill switch as such. If you don't have one, you don't need to do so. And start it with the electric button. Or, if you prefer, you can use your kickstand. But right now, I'm just going to use the electric start. Right? And now the bike has started. And what we want to do right now is we just want to let the bike warm up a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to explain how the clutch works. Basically, when you have a clutch, hey, we have another FZ16 going on right there. Nice bike, buddy. But basically, the clutch engages or transmits power to the transmission, which is going to transmit power to the wheels, which is going to make the bike start moving. It's a very non-scientific way to think about it. But basically, your engine always wants to go forward, right? So it's always moving. And your clutch is a process of making the transmission stick to the engine, and therefore they both start going. So what I like to think the clutch basically does is, you know, when you pull in your clutch, you disengage the clutch, and the clutch is right here, the transmission is right here. And your engine, like I said, it's always moving. It always wants to go forward, so it's going in like that. You start to let go of the clutch, and then here's your friction zone. And so they kind of, you know, sync up a little bit, and then they both start moving, and that's when the bike starts moving. Now, if you let go of the clutch too fast, this is what's going to happen. Boom, right? And then neither the engine is going to be moving, or the clutch is going to be transmitting power to the transmission. So this means the engine's going to die. And what that looks like, I'm going to show you right now, is this, right? Let's put the bike into first gear. Hold on the clutch. Put the gear lever down into first gear. You probably could hear it click. That means it's engaged successfully. If I let go of the clutch too fast, you guys can try it there. Whoop. So that's what's going to happen. Now, it's nothing to worry about. You just get to pull in the clutch, start the bike up again. And this time, you're going to be a little bit more smooth with the clutch. Now, to start off, I would recommend you guys not to use any gas. Don't apply any gas. Don't squeeze the gas handlebar, I guess you could call it. What you want to do is just want to let go of the clutch very smoothly. And you're going to see the bike is going to sound a little bit smoother, okay? Your revs are going to drop. You can see right here, it's at around 1.5K. As you guys can hear, when I let go of the clutch, the bike starts to go forward. My friction zone is engaged, and without even holding in or giving it any gas, the bike starts going forward automatically. Now, your bike may or may not do this depending on how much torque it generates, but, you know, if you see that your bike is not actually moving forward, then you can give it a little bit of gas. But we're talking about some really, really moderate levels of gas, because if you don't, you're just going to wheelie, and you're going to be one of those guys on the internet who breaks his bike the moment he got on it. So what you want to do is you want to let go of the clutch a little bit, and you want to give it this much gas, right? Like, just that much. You want to be that gentle with it, because if you're a little bit more rough with it, you are not going to have a good day. So let go of the clutch, give it just a little bit of gas, hold the clutch right there in the friction zone, and then you can start to let go of the clutch. There we go. Now, these speeds, riding a bike is just the same as riding a bicycle. So if you turn your handlebars to the right, the bike is going to turn to the right as well. As you see, if there's no one gonna, I don't think there's anyone crossing right here. But yeah, you know, turn to the right, and the bike turns to the right. At higher speeds, you're going to be learning about a technique called, I think, counter steering, but we're not gonna get into that today. That's a little bit more advanced. Right now, all you want to do is get comfortable with turning at lower speeds. And one really big tip that I can give you guys today is never use your front brake at low speeds. The reason for being is a bike's a little bit heavier than a bicycle, obviously, and when you hold in your front brake, it puts all that weight onto the front wheel, which means that you can lose friction on your rear wheel because there's less weight on it now, and you can actually drift, and that's gonna make you fall unless you're very experienced. Also, you can lock up your front tire, and that's also gonna fuck you up pretty bad. But basically what you want to do when you brake at low speeds is hold on the clutch and start to engage your rear brake pedal. And there you go. You came to a stop. Now, one thing that a lot of people do is they always put their left foot down and they always hold their right leg on the bike itself. Why do they do this? Well, just so that in case someone bumps into you or something, you can actually brake. Because as you guys can see right there, if I put my left leg off the bike and onto the floor, and I leave my left leg here on the bike, I don't really have a way in which to, I guess, brake if something happens. So, you know, always, it's just, I guess, a habit to put your left leg onto the floor and keep your right leg, especially your foot, on the brake pedal. So that's just about it when it comes to riding a bike. Learning the friction zone is always different depending on what kind of bike you have. You know, if it generates a lot of torque, if it's got more mid-range or more top-range power, really depends on it. But just get very comfortable with your friction zone, because that's gonna make you it's gonna make the difference between a very smooth rider and a very, I guess, sloppy rider. So that's just about it for today. I'm gonna be uploading another video on how to actually shift gears and maybe even counter steer at another time. But for right now, like I said, all you want to learn how to do is start the bike, let go of the clutch, find your friction zone, hold your clutch at the friction zone, start giving a little bit more gas and let go of the clutch, and there you go. You're now a biker. I do want to say that I do not want to be held responsible, and I will not be held responsible for any sort of accidents that you guys have after watching this video, so make sure to ride safe, and have a good day, everyone. Bye.